is PsychoMathCat, and this is my review of the Ti-Nspire CAS graphing calculator. So, first thing you'll notice is this is the outer case that comes with it. I have labeled my name on the back of the case, as well as twice on the back of the calculator. If you bring it to school, it's probably a good idea to have your name on it, as these aren't the cheapest things, and, you know, if kids will tend to steal things. So, this is actually the back of the calculator, rubber feet. This is a connector right here that has not been put to use yet by Texas Instruments, but they're expected to have some accessories coming later. So you have your battery cover. So this has 4 standard AAA batteries. They're a little bit tough to get out of here, but it's really not a problem. If you ever run into problems with your calculator, there's a reset key. The top just tells you that's the CAS version. Up here you have a mini USB A/B port, so this works to connect to the computer as well as to other Ti-Nspire handhelds or some of the data collection accessories that they have available. So if you remove the case, you can slide on the back like pretty much every other Ti calculator. So here I have the calculator. You can instantly see that there's a much larger screen than any other calculator Ti has made. It's used because you have a cursor-driven interface, much like a computer, using this keypad here. You have a lot of menu functions, and it's generally used just to show you more information, much more spacious, easy-to-use layout. So if I hit the on key right here, I can just turn on the calculator. Instantly here you can see one of the advantages of the screen. I can view much better graphing detail. These were a couple graphs I was working on. 2 inequalities, and because it's a grayscale display, not black and white, you can tell how the 2 systems can be solved using this area right here where it is shaded versus just 2 areas. Previously on calculators you would have to use dots or lines and see where that overlaps, but now you can instantly tell by what's darker and lighter where things are. So when you turn it on, it just shows you what you were last working on. I can hit the home key to show you the new document interface, and what I have is they have the option with the first page you can create a calculator option. Second will give you a graphing option. The third gives you lists and spreadsheets so you can perform calculations. The fourth is the notes page, so you can actually type notes using these green alpha keys. You don't need a second key anymore to use those. Fourth page would be data and statistics. If you use some of the data collection probes, they automatically have their own interface for working with that info. This allows you to create a new document. Then the 7th gives you a way to manage all your documents, much like a computer interface. The 8th gives you settings, and the 9th is hints. So before I show you the calculator, I'll just really quick show you that the documents interface, whoops, if I actually hit 7 to bring it up, will give you a file system view with folders. You can close folders, open them back up. You can use the enter key or the select key in the middle to select things. If I go back to the home screen and I go over and select the settings, you're presented with settings for documents, system, graphs, and geometry. And these settings actually, for the first time, give you a way to change the font size. That's your language. You can go over, hit the tab key, and you can select, I have mine set to large. I think that's a very useful feature coming from an 84 or even from an 89, which allows you to see things much easier. So if I go back to the home screen, I can create a new document, and it'll ask me if I want to save the one I was on, and I will say no. And now I can create a new document. And so next I'll show you some other things. So here I'll show you an example of one of the features that only the CAS version can do. Is I will solve the quadratic formula. First I will just clear the screen by hitting the menu key, and then 1 will open the first menu, and 5 is the function to clear everything. So to solve the quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, and I want to solve for x, I will go up to the menu again, and I will press the 3 key for algebra functions, and the first one is solve. Alright, so here you can see I have the quadratic equation entered into the calculator. You might notice that it is entered as a times x squared plus b times x plus c equals 0. The reason for this is that, unlike the Ti-84, the Ti-Nspire can store variables that are multiple characters in length, so if I entered ax, that could be treated as one variable. In this case, I don't want it to be one variable. The only variable I'm looking for is x. So that's why I enter after the equals 0, comma x, and that's going to tell the calculator that I'm isolating for x. So when I hit enter, it will give me the quadratic equation. It looks slightly different than the textbook variant of negative b plus or minus the square root, but it's essentially the same thing. It's just putting the minus b at the end and giving you two different forms for plus or minus. The reason this requires the Ti-Nspire is because if you had done this with a regular Ti-Nspire and not the CAS version, you would have needed to enter values for a, b, and c, or a value for x, b, and c, and solve for a, or something like that. So this is one of the great features. Quadratic equation is pretty easy, so it's not that useful there. But you can see as if you do more complex equations, it could be very useful for figuring out how to do something.